Okay, so since we'll be spending a little bit of time together this evening, would it be okay with you guys if I told you a little bit about myself? Would that be okay with you? Yeah. Yes? Thank you. So I actually got into fitness as a teenager, weighing 120 pounds, soaking wet, if you can picture that. And I got into working out with weights because I had a confidence problem. And I guess building muscle and getting bigger and stronger really spoke to me because I became obsessed and spent all my time researching and training. And I was able to completely change not only my body, but my life. And by the age of 20, I started competing in strength competitions. And by the age of 27, I had done dozens of strongman events from provincial to elite level international competitions. Here's a shot of me in contest. So I went from being this kind of like 99-pound weakling to a strongman that competes on national television, even appearing in a Honda commercial, and more recently, as Jeffrey mentioned, I was in the news when I did this school bus pull in Dundas Square to raise money and awareness for a children's charity that's near and dear to my heart, and that was the Pulling for the Hungry event. So that's a pretty dramatic change, wouldn't you say? Would you agree to that? Yeah. And the interesting thing about it, for our purposes here today, was that as part of this process of building up my body, I gained over 100 pounds, which meant that I added significant amounts of both muscle and fat. And by the time I retired from strongman, I was overweight. And my health began to suffer. I had a problem called sleep apnea. Who's heard of that before? Yeah, and it was caused by my weight, and my energy wasn't the same. And even though I was the strongest guy in my gym, I'll be frank, I was embarrassed by the way that I looked. And so I knew I needed another change. I needed to lose the weight. But here's the interesting part. You remember, my profession, my entire adult life has been in personal training and helping people with their fat loss programs. And the crazy thing about it was that for a time, I actually struggled with how to make those changes happen for myself. And I remember asking myself, why? Right? Like, why would this happen to me? And eventually I figured out some pretty cool stuff, which I'm going to share with you a little bit today. And a drastic change occurred very quickly. I lost 30 pounds in 4 months, and I have not looked back since. Who would like to know how I did that? Thank you. I'll share you. Now, what I want to impress upon you is that when this happened, my entire life changed. I had more energy and confidence than ever before, and I just love feeling good all the time. Can you tell? And because I know what it's like to not feel good and to not be happy in your own skin, and that really is a terrible thing because it does not have to be that way. Anyone can make the changes that I made. So when I felt those changes in my life, I became very passionate about sharing those changes with as many people as possible. That's my mission, right? Does that make sense?